Okay, how's everybody doing? This is Kinesiology 223. My name is Adrian, and I'll be your instructor for this course. Just a little quick background just regarding what we're looking at here. In terms of sports psychology, um, sports psychology has its place obviously in the realm of sports and athletics, but for many of you, you'll end up working perhaps in other movement practitioner fields. So you might not be a basketball coach or a strength and conditioning coach. Perhaps you'll end up being a physical therapist. Maybe you'll end up working as a physical education instructor in a middle school somewhere, or you'll end up being part of maybe a high functioning or high performing team in a business environment. So to that end, we start talking sports psychology and ways to kind of tease out performance in people. It has its place, but also you have to have an understanding as a leader in terms of what makes your people tick. And also, everybody's so unique and everybody brings their own, well, their own, not say baggage, but their own experiences and skills and also weaknesses to the table. And if you plan on being a coach, a leader, maybe you're working with people one-on-one as a personal trainer or a physical therapist, you have to find ways to kind of tease out the best out of other people. So a little bit about my background and my experience. Started off actually as a student at Harper many years ago. Played football at Harper, transferred up to UW-Whitewater where I played football and I ran track. I got heavy into the coaching side of the house. I ended up being their head strength and conditioning, head student in strength and conditioning. We had a student assistant role that we created that I basically adopted, and I ended up being a head student assistant for 3 years. Created a cool organization up there. I think we're like the second one in the country at the time for a student-run organization in strength and conditioning. And then from there, I ended up going out to University of Arizona, where I coached as I did my internship out there under some really smart people. Holy cow, I learned so much while out there. And ended up taking a role over in Tennessee at a school called Austin Peay State University, where I was the head strength and conditioning coach at the time. It was a graduate assistant position, but they didn't have a head coach, so I ended up being their head coach while I worked on my master's, and it was a grueling program. I was in and out of there in just a little bit over a year. It was closer to like perhaps 15 months where I earned my master's degree, and I was their head coach as well. So it was a lot of work, man, I'll tell you, but it was great. It was a great experience. I was able to apply everything that I learned when I was the head student assistant at Whitewater and also when I coached at Arizona. It was fantastic. Came back to the burbs looking for a college coaching gig, and it was a little different world at that time where you couldn't go to like higher ed jobs or go to different job sites, and you had to kind of work through the network. And as I did that, I took a job as a personal trainer in a fitness facility, and at the time there really weren't people specializing in strength and conditioning, so I ended up going into this fitness facility and working with many of the youth athletes and created youth programming and did a ton of work with the tennis players in this facility. And it was interesting because it was a space that really wasn't capitalized on at the time. And I just kind of did what I knew in college from being a coach and just kind of ran with that business for a number of years. And over the course of years, I've always been involved with fitness, personal training. I've managed multiple facilities. I managed a startup as a general manager. I ended up being involved with personal training teams at two different locations for a big box company. So I've always had my toe in fitness. Even now, as an instructor, I work at a memory care facility within a bigger retirement community where I work with people who have dementia, Alzheimer's, and these are individuals who are in memory care, but I also have people in skilled nursing as well as assisted living, about 70 people that I work with. And I'm an adjunct professor at Harper College. So I try to find a nice balance in there. And what's interesting is even if it's with my 100 football players in front of me on a football field, or working one-on-one with a client, or if I'm working with my memory care, or perhaps people who are bedridden, in skilled nursing, it's just interesting how like the psychological aspect and how you connect with people and how you can kind of reach people where they are that philosophically trans all of those populations. So hopefully you're able to take a couple things out of this course. I know every time I teach it, I get a little bit more out of it every time. Hopefully you'll get a little bit out of this course as well, and you'll be able to take it with you either into your teaching, coaching, or personal training or physical therapy businesses as you grow and develop your careers. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to sign off. Next up for you guys, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about the different modules for the course.